Many people wonder how to learn to code, but unfortunately, many of them never succeed. This is not because they lack intelligence, but because they often fall into one of four traps. By avoiding these traps, you can make a successful career in programming. In this video, we'll discuss these four traps that make people fail to learn programming and provide unique insights that you won't find in any other videos. So let's dive right in. The first trap involves having a fixed mindset. You've probably heard of the analogy of your brain being like a computer, where your mindset is your operating system. A growth mindset is what you need to aim for, where you focus on improving every day instead of being fixated on how good you are currently. By tracking your progress, you can see yourself getting closer to where you want to be. Once you learn a skill like reversing a linked list or traversing the DOM with JavaScript, you'll always have it. This is why having a growth mindset is so crucial. The next trap you may have heard of is tutorial hell, which we prefer to call the tutorial treadmill. This is when you keep doing tutorials without actually making any progress. You may feel discouraged and like it's too hard, but the reality is you haven't made any progress until you write your first line of code without help. This is why we recommend practicing on sites like Code Wars as soon as possible. Many people feel like they're not good enough, but the truth is, you're still a beginner until you start writing code. So, start today, even if it's difficult. Don't be afraid to take on challenging projects. You'll get there faster than you think. Let's talk about trap number 3, which is not choosing a niche. Many programmers may advise you to focus on general programming skills, but we don't necessarily agree. Companies hire programmers to solve specific business needs, and if you can't do that, they may have to train you from scratch, which can be time-consuming and expensive. That's why it's essential to choose a niche and specialize in it. By niche, we mean going beyond general programming languages like JavaScript or Python, and diving deeper into specific frameworks like React or Django. For example, instead of just learning React, you could specialize in building React web apps with Next.js. By doing this, you'll be able to market yourself as the go-to expert for that specific niche, making it easier for companies to hire you. Specializing in a niche can also create more value for you as a programmer. And it's an excellent strategy from a marketing perspective. Instead of being a generic DevOps guy, be the AWS expert who can write the best deployment scripts and has a tattoo of all the AWS services. It's worth noting that this trap is less of an issue with larger tech companies that have the resources to train you. However, for smaller companies and freelancers, it's crucial to have specific skills out of the gate. Otherwise, you risk losing business and wasting your time and your client's time. So don't be afraid to choose a niche and specialize in it. Trap number 4 is trying to do it alone. People pay a lot for college or coding boot camps to get into a like-minded community. Because without that, college is just a library and some old people reading you a book. Although these institutions are expensive, the community is invaluable. On the other end, there are free forums and communities like Stack Overflow, Reddit, and Harvard CS50 that you can join. But people aren't invested in the community, and it can be watered down with people who are just trying to extract value and not give it back or are very ephemeral. The final option is a paid course that has a strong community attached to it. For example, Visualize Value has a few hundred people making great connections and getting feedback. Parker Walbeck on YouTube is another example where people learn so much from the community, sometimes more than from the course itself. So, these are the 4 traps you should avoid when learning to code. By avoiding these mistakes, you'll be in good shape and hopefully share your success story with me. If you plan on being a self-taught programmer, make sure to watch our video about honest advice about becoming a self-taught programmer. This will provide you with practical tips for navigating your journey. If you learned something new from this video, please hit the like button. With that said, we'll see you in the next video.